Hi, my name is Jim Smith. If your experience is similar to mine, I'm sure you've seen your fair share of poorly drawn charts. That's why I created my workshop on creating effective charts. What follows is a small segment from this workshop on the most effective use of space on an individual slide. The first question is, how much space is there on a PowerPoint slide? What are the dimensions of a slide in inches? How tall is it? And how wide is it? Some people probably consider this a meaningless question, since when viewed on a netbook screen it's rather small, and when projected on a large screen in a conference room it's much larger. In reality, each PowerPoint slide is 7.5 inches tall and 10 inches wide, regardless of whether it appears on a small netbook screen or projected on a large screen in a conference room. How do I know this? Because if I draw a box the same size as a slide and click on the box and then click on the Format tab, it will tell me that the size of that box, and therefore the size of the slide that it covers, is 7.5 inches tall by 10 inches wide. This is critical information because it tells me that on every PowerPoint slide there are 75 square inches that I can utilize to convey information. Let's take a look then at a slide I saw at a recent conference. This was a slide of utilization review data for DRG 088 for several hospitals over 2 years. What are some of the problems in the use of slide space on this slide? First, the pattern on the side is a nice pattern for a countertop, but it's a totally useless waste of slide space. Second, the overly large font for the title wastes slide space at the top of the slide. Third, displaying the legend at the side of the graphic wastes space on the right-hand side of the slide. By the way, this is the default placement for the legend in Microsoft Charts. Finally, by presenting the data values in a table below the graphic instead of incorporating them into the graphic, space is wasted at the bottom of the slide. The net result is that the area devoted to the information graphic is squished. If we draw a box around that information graphic and then figure the square inches of this box, we find that only 15% of total available slide space is utilized for the information graphic. Now let's look at another way to present exactly the same data. Every single piece of data on the previous slide is on this slide, except, of course, for the countertop border. What's changed? The title uses a smaller font and therefore fits on one line. The legend is placed above the graphic instead of to the right side of the graphic. And the data values, instead of being placed in the table below the graphic, are incorporated in the graphic itself. These changes result in an expanded information area. Again, if we draw a box around the information graphic and calculate the square inches of this box, we find that 45% of the total available slide space is now devoted to the information graphic. That's 3 times the amount of slide space in the original slide. Which graphic would you prefer to look at from the back of a conference room? The one on the left or the one on the right? This one? Or this one? Now, could what I've said and demonstrated about slide space be conveyed in a bullet point slide? Of course it could. Here's an example. All the points I've demonstrated in the previous sequence of slides are listed in bullet point format. The speaker usually reads the bullets and perhaps provides a little additional information on each bullet. But as you know, a presentation consisting of bullet point slides is not very engaging, can be quite tedious, and almost certainly leads to less retention on the part of the learner. As a matter of fact, surveys indicate that one of the things that PowerPoint audiences hate most is when the speaker reads the slides to them. That's why I don't use bullet point slides in any of my presentations. For more information, go to my website, www.jamesmsmith.org. There you'll find information about me and about my presentations, converting data into information, creating effective charts and interactive workshop, statistics for non-statisticians, and how to use PowerPoint to engage your audience. All of these, bullet-free. Thanks very much for watching.